Good morning, everybody, and welcome to Spiritual Center for Conscious Living. You have Spencer, Renee, and Lori here, and bear with me as it's been a couple weeks, so I am a bit rusty. I feel like this is a recurring theme, as this was the last time, too. um, Welcome to Spiritual Center for Conscious Living. We are this week focusing on the basics of conscious living. And this week, our topic is embracing the truth of who you are. If you're not familiar with us as an organization, we are a 501c3 public charity. We do appreciate your participation in being here today with us. Any participation that you provides us with the energy to keep on doing this. So we appreciate your likes, shares. We love hearing and seeing your comments. And that's why we opened it up to doing YouTube and Facebook. We want to make it really accessible and easy for this message to spread. So please feel free to share it with your friends and family and spread the word far and wide. We do love that. If you'd like to go a step further, we also appreciate financial contributions that help keep us going and in our physical world. So you can do that in by either donating via PayPal. Facebook has its own separate donate link, which I think I can make pop up for anybody watching live on the screen. And you can do that. I can't. But anyways, there should be a donate thing on the Facebook thing. You can donate through Facebook. You can donate through PayPal. You don't need any specific PayPal account to do that. And all of those contributions 100% go to our operating expenses to keep spreading this message. So we do appreciate that as well. Anything you can provide us is greatly appreciated for the message that we provide to you. With that being said, I think that's all I have to say, and we'll have Renee get us started with our wisdom today.
Wonderful. Thank you, Spencer. And thank you, Lori. I'm so glad both of you are here today. And I want to just let you all know that these two beautiful souls make up the executive team of our nonprofit center. So they are a huge support to me being able to be here and show up with a message for you every week. And I thank them for that. So I'm going to shift my view. Thank you. I'm going to shift my view so that I can feel like I'm looking right at you a little more. There we go. So
before you start, Renee, may I just send a very, very huge thank you to whomever sent in the latest Got Sneakers bag. That is a campaign that we do. And many people, if you're new, you don't know this, but we work with another Florida company that recycles sneakers. And they do that in three different ways. Number one, if they're gently used and they're not worn at all, they give them to people who need sneakers here in the United States and abroad. And the second way they do it is they actually take apart all the sneakers and use the different parts and pieces and different things. And I forget the third way that they reuse the sneakers, but there is a third way. Part of that is all the rubber stuff that you see in playgrounds, keeping the kids safe. Not like in my day where we had hard concrete to come down off of a boiling hot slide onto. They do some of that too, and it's really, really cool. And we just got a check from them. So whoever sent in that bag, absolutely thank you, thank you, thank you. If anyone out there would like a bag to collect 15 pairs of sneakers in and mail it back, no cost to you. You just have to fill the bag, zip it up, and take it to a center. Instructions are on the bag. Let us know. That is another way that you can help us out. And this is a fun way to not only help us out, but help the rest of the world out as well.
Yes, thank you, Lori. And so if any of you would like a bag, you can just email us and we'll mail one to you. So our email is on our website, scfcl.org. It's very simple. It's admin at, or you can send it directly to me, Renee at, and then it's the full name, Spiritual Center for Conscious Living.org, which you'll see on whichever channel or page you're listening from. And also, I know Spencer has that our website in the description for you. So another way you can use that, if you want to go to the page, You can reach out if you want to ask questions that you don't feel comfortable asking today during the conversation or during the teaching. It shows you on the slides that on the homepage, there's a slideshow. And as the slides roll around, you'll see a way to either email us or for a private question, which would include asking for the bag for the Got Sneakers, or also if you want to schedule a private phone consultation, there's a way to do that. Thank you for that. Okay, and so now let's get to our topic. I do want to say one thing. I do want to send love out to, we have some family who, a member of their family made their transition, and I just want to hold space without saying a name, but let's just hold space. And there's a lot of that in the world. Of course, it's part of life. It's also something that we need help sometimes to remember how to move through that. And to be supported as we grieve the physical loss, of course. So let's just hold space for that. For everyone, every person, every living being, we honor the sacredness of all life. That's what we stand for here, and that includes all people, all creatures, all living beings, all sentient beings, and the beautiful earth itself. So we just hold that space with love. Okay. And now back to our message for today. So the next three, our schedule's a little different. So the next three, I'll go into the schedule at the end to help remind you what's coming next. But the next three times we are with you on a live stream, we're going to give you a sneak peek at a new video course that we're bringing. And we're creating our core teachings. And our very first, most basic core teaching is just the very basic elements, the essential elements, the key principles of conscious living, which includes not only knowing them, but also how to present them, how to implement them in your life, how to live them. And we invite you to just take a breath today. Spencer, I think there's a lot of background noise, so you might want to check that for us. Thank you. So I invite you to just, take a moment here, open your heart, still your mind, still that beautiful human brain. Don't turn it off, of course, but just still it. Still it. Drop into your heart. Drop into your heart. There we go. And just allow the divine to guide you as you listen to this message today. Allow divine presence and power. There's nothing you have to do. You just have to open your heart to receive, to be one with it, to be one with it. So I'm going to follow an outline that is really important to learn these elements. And so because it's important, I actually put it in print for you. If you want to see it, you can go to our homepage. And normally we have a program for each week. Normally I put an inspirational quote for you to read. Instead, in these next three sessions, I put this outline for you to follow, because I thought that way you don't have to worry about taking notes so much. And because I know some of you tell me that you take notes, and you're welcome to, of course, if that feels good to you. But if you don't, I don't want you to feel like you have to be worried that you're going to miss something. So put it in print for you. All right. So the first principle that we're going to learn together, and I do invite you to join in this as a beautiful learning and exploring together. The expanding of who you are, the expanding of knowing who you are, the expanding of your capacity to embrace the truth of who you are, the expanding of your ability to be who you are and not diminish who you are, because that diminishing who you are is why there is suffering, there is human suffering and struggling. It's because we don't allow ourselves to stand fully, freely, calmly, clearly as one with the divine, as one with our Creator, and as a beautiful expression of the divine, who is meant to also then expand that beautiful energy, that creation force, that pure love and pure joy and pure peace and absolute and utter abundance into expression in our own uniquely gifted ways. And the not doing of that, the not understanding it, and the hesitancy to embrace it and embody it and be it is what causes any form of suffering. So it's not something to feel bad about. It's something to say, wow, I don't have to go through that anymore. Let me learn a better way. I invite you to choose that with us. Okay. So I'm going to read the three principles or the 3 points of this principle, and then I'm going to, expand on it a little bit for you. So today's principle is embracing the truth of who you are, capital letters, who you are. I don't mean the person you are, your name and your occupation, and whether or not you're a parent or a partner or who you are within your family structure, within your community structure, roles that you live, roles that you choose to carry out. I mean the essence of your pure being, the essence of your pure being, who you are. Okay, so the 3 points I want to bring to us today is this. You are a unique expression of the divine, a being of light. Take a breath and just allow that to sit for a moment. Being of light. The next one is your consciousness is the creative force in every facet of life. Your consciousness is the creative force in your life. That is the divine coming through you to the degree you allow it, to the degree you cultivate clarity and certainty in that flow, to the degree you say yes to it, and to the degree you resist it, knowingly or unknowingly, then that's when, as humans, there's suffering, because now you're just in the mere physical realm. You're not beyond the physical realm, blended together. The third one is evolving your consciousness requires mastery of your energy. And I'm going to touch on that today, and then we'll build on it in the next 2 sessions, 2 live streams. Evolving your consciousness requires mastery of your energy. So I ask you now to please take a breath. The reason I ask you to take a breath is that helps you keep your energy field open, because when I say something that might feel a little bit like, oh, I don't know, can I do that? Then is it okay for me to do that? Who am I to do that? Anything like that comes up, then either you have constriction, and whether you know it or not, you constrict your energy. So that's why I keep saying, let's take a breath and open, stay open, and not open to me, open to pure source. Source that is within and without, source that is all of life. You might know that. You might use a different name instead of source. You might say spirit. You might say the universe. You might say life force. You might say God force. I personally love the divine or divine creator and beloved source, pure source energy, the energy that is in all, the energy that is the creative force of life, not just in the human realm, all life, even beyond the human realm. If that is something you enjoy contemplating, the cosmos, when you see the stars at night and you wonder, what's out there? All life, okay? So I'm going to read something that I think is such a beautiful way to understand oneness. It's, I just saw this, I think it was yesterday, but very recently. So let me pull it up quickly. It is it's a writer who, yes, it's a writer that was introduced to me by a spiritual teacher I work with, and beautiful writer, an author. So the person's name is Story. Isn't that interesting? Story, who writes beautiful teachings. So this is a way to understand oneness. And I think it's important because there's a tendency for spiritual seekers, spiritual students, to feel resistance to claiming their divineness, the divineness of them, that they are one with the divine and that the divine is flowing to them and through them. There's a little bit of, it's like, oh gosh, I don't know, that doesn't feel humble enough. Well, I think humility is a beautiful thing when it's understood correctly. Humility is, we are all equal in value. We have worth and value that is equal. No one is greater, more worthy than another. We have unique abilities and talents. So we have different roles in the human realm of our expression. But what's important is to not resist this oneness, not feel that you're claiming too much. And I think this was a beautiful way to explain it. So I'm going to quote this beautiful writer's story. We are the tree trunk that created leaves, leaves that dream of being a tree trunk. Think about that. We are the tree trunk that created leaves, leaves that dream of being a tree trunk. We're also the leaves. We are the ocean that created fish, the divine flowing through us, and then us manifesting into the human realm. We are the ocean that created fish, the fish that dream of knowing the entire ocean. God created humans, and humans explore being creators. Creation is. The breaking down of hierarchy is to see that each leaf contains the tree trunk, and the tree trunk contains the potential for all the leaves. They are the same thing viewed from a different temporal perspective. So there's nothing grandiose about that. It's an awareness of the oneness that is divine energy, creation force, constantly expanding. And each of us, you, are one of the outlets for that expression and expansion. And you are meant, you are divinely designed to open and fully be one with it and allow that flow and be one with that flow. And then focus and direct your energy consciously to manifest, to be the tree trunk that then manifests leaves. And in the leaves then contains still the energy of the tree trunk for ever expanding growth. How does that feel? I hope it feels exciting. I hope it feels like something you want to learn more about and become better at understanding and being and experiencing and expressing. I invite you to do that with us this month and the coming month in September. So the second point is your consciousness is the creative force in every facet of life. What I just described to you, reading that quote, is the awareness of the divine, of energy, creative energy force that is the divine, that is pure source of all life. The awareness of that is your consciousness. So you have the potential to have 100% pure awareness in every moment. And you have the authority, the sovereignty to choose to say yes to that, to choose to say no to that, and in every moment to have some degree of yes and some degree of no. The pure yes is when you experience what people will say a miracle. You experience a manifestation in such a way that time has collapsed. What in the human realm you were told is impossible is not impossible in the realm of the energy that is the creation of all life. And so when we allow that purely, without restriction, without fear that we're asking too much, trying to be too much, then we have what is known as a miracle. Something I've created, I call course, in my personal business, everyday magic and miracles becomes the natural experience. And I invite you to embrace this because that is what you are meant to experience, each of us, every one of us. Not everyone is ready to say yes to that. And we don't want to condemn or criticize those who are not. We also don't want to let them, their limitation, their choice, it's a choice whether they know it or not, to prevent us from exploring and expanding this amazing, beautiful experience of life that is a creation. It's not an effort creation, it's a flow creation. It's a oneness with the divine creation, with the amazing privilege of choosing and focusing and flowing your energy. That is such a precious gift. And embracing that and cultivating more and more how to maintain that consciousness that is in pure alignment with divine presence and power will bring miracles and magical and beautiful experiences for you, which will serve everyone in your life and everyone on planet Earth, all of planet Earth, all forms of life. It benefits life as a whole. You see, that collective consciousness that is the human life, the realm of physical humanity. Humanity being not just people, but the physicalness that humanity is a part of and is creating with and through. How does that feel to you? If you want to ask a question about that, we will be taking questions with the conscious conversation section in just a moment. So please put your question there if you'd like. If it feels a little too broad, you're welcome to send it to me privately. I do encourage you to learn to ask questions openly to the degree that you're ready, because it helps you evolve. Don't push yourself in a way that you're not ready. And don't, of course, disrespect anyone's privacy. If it involves other people, don't mention their names or even identify who they are, so that, because this is a public forum, you can do that in a private conversation with me or an email, of course. That's always welcome, and it will be kept confidential. But we do encourage your comments and your questions. It helps you grow if you will do that. Okay? Okay, so I want to read one more thing. Some of you may be familiar with the Abraham teachings, which are presented by a woman named Esther Hicks. So this happened to be today. So I thought, oh, this is perfect timing. I want to share this. This is a quote from the collective consciousness known as Abraham, who is presented by, through and by Esther Hicks. And here's what they had to say. They said this years ago. It's just something that popped in my awareness this morning. The universe does not know or care whether the vibration that you're offering is in response to something you are living right now and observing, or in response to something you are imagining. Now, you could be imagining something that you experienced in the past, and you're just running the story of it. And so then to the universe, it's in the now. It's not in the past. It's right now. You are saying to the universe, this is the energy I choose to be. And then they go on to say, in either case, the universe accepts it. The universe being divine creator, being source, being spirit. The universe accepts it as your point of attraction, your conscious choice of the energy you want to experience more of. The universe accepts it as your point of attraction and matches it. So take a moment without any judgment, without any criticism of yourself or anyone else. Don't analyze other people, analyze you. And only for the purpose of exploring. Do it like this child learning something new. Like, what if you were learning some beautiful form of artistic expression? Let yourself learn it with joy and curiosity and wonder and awe. Not, I have to get this right. Oh, I'm terrible if I don't get it right. And that which constricts your energy. You could feel that, right? So open and be like the little child with the big crayons way back in what, kindergarten or something, or preschool, pre-kindergarten. And, coloring with the big fat crayons and just lost in it. Let yourself be lost in it in a grounded way, not blissed out way, in a grounded way, lost in the awe of it, lost in the pureness of it. What have you been focusing on just today? Whether you're watching this live or whether you're listening to a replay, whatever time of day it is for you, wherever you are hearing this moment, right this moment, what energy have you been mostly focusing on? Have you been regurgitating, either silently or out loud, the story of something you experienced that was some form of chaos or some form of drama in relationships or other aspects of your life? Or have you been open like a child, and you're looking around and you're seeing through the eyes of source and experiencing in a very sensual way the beauty of life, the beauty of the trees that I just was speaking of, the beauty of some part of nature where you are, the beauty of the people around you, the beauty of maybe pets you have, maybe pieces of art, many forms, whatever that form of art is, music, sculptures, painting, fabrics, decor, clothing. Are you looking out into the world? I think it's easiest with nature because it's just so profound and majestic. Are you taking in the beauty of life and choosing that as your point of attraction, and then making a conscious choice to create something else that has that feel, that majesty, that beauty, that expansive, glorious flow of life force? That is what we want for you. That is what we are here to create a space for. And that's what this course will help you do. And so we're bringing you the preview, the sneak peek of it in these next few weeks. So I ask you to take a breath, please. Exhale with sound. Oh. And I think Spencer will have some music for us. So what I like to do is, it's a meditative moment. And I also want you to understand it's an immersion into a high vibe energy, the energy I just brought you to. I want to hold you in that energy to help you feel it and become familiar with that feeling, so that when you choose it, it becomes easier for you to tune into it. Because when it's new, it can be a little fleeting sometimes to tune into it. So that's why we have this meditative experience where I hold the energy and let you tune into it with me, for you. So I ask you to think of something that just absolutely opens you to the majesty and gloriousness of life, whatever that is. Stay down in your heart, think and feel into it, think about it, and open to feel the beauty of it, the precious gift of that part of life. There's many parts, but choose one that is the most natural thing in the world for you to align with, and so that you tune your frequency to absolute joy, appreciation, love, beauty, the truth of the divine, the creative life force that is pure, that is safe because it is pure love, and it's meant to expand you with pure joy. So there's no reason to hold back from letting yourself feel it. Whatever that is it a butterfly? Is it a pet? Is it a child? Is it sunlight, morning sunlight, or sunset on dappling leaves of a tree or trees or a forest? Is it a beautiful moon over the ocean? A beautiful sunrise or sunset through the mountains? A peace that falls at dusk over a beautiful expansion of lake or river? Allow all your senses, not just your human senses, your being of light senses, allow them to tune into that and say, yes, this is the consciousness I choose. I choose this high vibrational, pure energy frequency that is glorious, majesty, the divine in expression in its most profound and beautiful, wonderful in every way that matters to you. Choose that consciousness and create from that. We'll continue to explore how to do that in the next 2 sessions that we have as the preview to our new course. Take another deep breath, please. Exhale with sound. Ooh. And now we're going to come back into focus. We're going to shift into a more conversational mode. Take your time coming back into focus. Allow yourself to hold that energy as you come back into this, wherever you are, into that physical space with us. And before we begin, I want to just explain a little bit about conscious conversation, which is what's next. That will be our next course, by the way. We're going to also bring up a course on conscious conversation in the next few months. What's important to know about conscious conversation is that it is a way to learn how to connect in the human realm as a spiritual being, not to lose that beautiful state of consciousness we just created, but to maintain it and bring it into your everyday life in the most natural way possible. It requires authentic commitment to hold a high vibration when many people around you will be wanting you to join them in something playing out in their life as chaos or drama. Because there is that in the human realm, of course. There doesn't have to be. We don't have to create chaos and drama. But those who don't know better will do so until they choose to know better. And then they will discover a teaching such as this or something else that's perfect for them to learn how to stop doing that and to choose then. They'll be given the choice then to choose to do things in a higher frequency, a higher consciousness. There are also those who know better, but they don't choose to do better, right? There are people like that. We don't want to condemn or criticize. We just don't want to let them run our lives. Don't get into that. Let them be that in their sovereign realm, which is their energy field, their consciousness, which it plays out. We'll get into a little bit more of that in the coming 2 sessions about how that really works. Let them be who they choose to be. Don't be it just to get along, because you are selling out your soul when you do that. You are saying to your divine self, you don't matter as much as me having drama to make somebody else comfortable with their drama. Please value yourself more than that. You are a divine being of light. You are that. And I know for some of you, it might be very new to hear that. So just every time it feels a little like, oh, I don't know, just breathe, like you're on the bicycle and the training wheels just came off, right? It's okay. Just take a breath. Just keep breathing into it and keep opening your energy into pure source, not into human drama, into pure source. Sometimes you feel it within, and sometimes you feel it without. It is everywhere. It is all that is. It is the energy of all life. and it is here, present, and it is powerful, and it is always with you for your guidance and your support, not guidance that you don't know who you are, guidance to help you remember who you are and discover more and more the becoming of who you are, and discover it in ways that feel delicious and wonderful and magical. And then they become to just feel natural, but still glorious. That's what we want. All right. So what I'm going to do as we're doing these 3 sessions, which are based on an upcoming course, I'm going to kind of hold a space in the conscious conversation that helps support this course teaching in the free sneak peek you're getting in these 3 sessions. So I'm going to reread today's principle number 1, and the 3 teaching points. And then I'm going to open it, and I invite you, Spencer will be monitoring. If you want to participate in the conversation, answer these questions or make a comment, and we will certainly address them. If you're watching the replay later, we'll go ahead and do that, and I'll come back and answer them. And Spencer sometimes notifies me if I miss something. And sometimes Lori sees something I missed and notifies me. So we'll all be keeping our eye open, and I will come back and answer for you if you're not with us live. All right, so let me reread it. This is also for Lori and Spencer's benefit. And also remember that these questions are meant for you to learn and explore and expand, not put you on the spot, not just Lori and Spencer, anyone. That's not what conscious conversation is about. And so honor yourself. If it feels like it's a little too much, don't feel like you have to push yourself. But at the same time, if you want to, and you're just feeling like, am I worthy? Then I invite you to say yes and speak a little bit, at least, about what might feel a little wobbly. Okay? So here's the question. The question is, which of these 3, I'm going to read them again, which of these 3 teaching points today would both Lori and Spencer and anybody that wants to participate, would you like to understand better or have a little more guidance how to implement more naturally in your everyday life? And so here they are. The principle is embracing the truth of who you are. And the 3 elements are, you are a unique expression of the divine, a being of light. That's 1. The second one is, your consciousness is the creative force in every facet of life. And the third one is, evolving your consciousness requires mastery of your energy. So, Lori, Spencer, is there anything in there that you would like to ask a question about, understand better, or learn, have a tool that might help you process to implement better in your life?
Yeah, I think I would like something I've had pointed out to me a couple times that my energy was low, and not in that exact words, but just like, wow, you've really soured on this, or wow, you've really changed. And I've realized that there was maybe a little bit of it was me getting caught up in lower frequencies, but for the most part, I was like just being true to myself. So, but something to catch myself when I'm explaining how I feel to somebody, that I'm not letting the emotions come forward and just letting the truth come forward, if that makes sense.
I think it does. I want to restate it to be sure that I'm understanding your question, okay? So if I'm understanding correctly, what you're having an experience from time to time where your energy kind of goes flat, maybe a bit suddenly, and you're wanting to how to explain that to someone else if they ask you about it. Is that correct?
No, it's more of a, like, somebody asks me about what's going on in my life, and I'm transitioning between jobs, and I say, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to ask my current employer to give me a favorable schedule so I can ease my transition. And I said, because I've given them so much, and because my current employer I don't want to say they've taken advantage of, but it's been very, very difficult the past few weeks at my current employer. And so I was just getting more emotional about it, like more of a screw them type of a attitude about it. And somebody called me out on it. And I said, well, yeah, that's what happens when they change your schedule every week and then make you stay until after midnight for a month straight. I'm like, that tends to happen.
You're
And that's why I have less of a concern for them and their needs at this point, because they had zero concern for mine. However, there was a bit of when I was explaining my reasoning for why I wanted to ask for something favorable that I did get like a little upset, and like just a tool for recognizing that, not letting that upset come through while you're trying to explain your reasoning on a decision you've made.
Okay, that's good. Okay, so some really juicy things there. Okay,
Yeah.
thank you so much for opening up. And Lori, of course, we'll welcome you too in just a minute. So, first of all, I want to suggest to you that you find your balance, whatever's right for you, in this statement. I have the right to honor my feelings without justifying or explaining them to anyone. You don't want to deny your feelings. You don't want to project your feelings. And if you don't honor first, before you choose whether to explain or not, if you don't first honor your feelings, you will have that sort of, like, I think you said you were feeling maybe a little bit of anger, and that's a project. And then you start projecting
Right,
that,
right.
right? Okay, so it would be like this simple as this. I feel, don't say I am, because you don't want to claim it as your energy. I feel angry. And then just take a breath and say, I choose to feel at peace.
Yeah.
I feel angry. Now I want to shift into, I choose instead the energy that feels like peace. And then allow yourself to be aware. So anger is important because anger is telling you you've tolerated something that either wasn't good for you in your human realm, your physical energy, your emotional energy, your mental energy, or it was out of alignment with who you choose to be in your spiritual energy, the energy of you that's a being of light. And it could be both. Usually it's going to be some of both. So you've been tolerating like long hours that are physically exhausting. Perhaps from what you said, it might be also a case of mental sort of, you get like weary mentally too.
Yep.
And then emotionally feeling a little bit unappreciated, maybe like because they keep asking too much, right? And then what's really going on then is that you didn't say no sooner. You let yourself get depleted before you said no. No criticism, okay?
Mm-hmm.
No criticism. Please don't ever, and everybody listening, don't criticize yourself. Don't condemn yourself. Because if you do that, then you won't be honest with yourself. See, that's the thing, that when we're hard on ourselves, we start, it's like the little kid that doesn't want to tell their parent they broke this pretty something dish that mom treasured or whatever, dad treasured something, and they broke it. And they don't want to tell because they don't want to get punished, right? Well, we're like that with ourselves. If we don't hold ourselves in this beautiful sacred space of whatever you feel is okay and honor that feeling, then you start denying your feelings because you don't want to deal with that parent voice in your head that's beating you up about it, right? So you honor that. Oh gosh, here, look what I did. I let it go so long that now I'm angry. And then honor the anger, because the anger is telling you. You don't want to project the anger, obviously, but of course, if you did, then you want to forgive yourself. But ideally, we want to catch it before we do that. So now you're aware there's anger because you let yourself be depleted by others. Would that feel true to you?
Yeah, I guess, on some, everything in my life is my own choice. And I recognize that on some level, nothing at my work was asked of me. It was demanded that I do these things. So
Right.
like, it was my choice to stay in that position, but I didn't really have another job to go to, type of a deal. But yeah, so it's like, I definitely feel like I was, you know, so like projecting that anger. And I feel like it's become clear to me that part of the reason of it was because I didn't get to appropriately express it. The other part of it being the person who was asking me did not have the view and line of sight to my work to understand why I might feel that way. So like it's just kind of compounding on top of it.
Right. Right. And I want to make sure you know that I'm not in any way wanting you to imply or wanting you to feel that you did anything wrong.
Right.
This is the job, this was the schedule that was asked of you, and you either comply and or don't comply, and or comply at the same time, create a new experience.
Right.
Right. So I think that's what you've been doing, is you complied, but you at the same time you want to create a new
Yep.
experience. Yeah. Okay. So good job. Good job on all that. Now, the next part, if I'm understanding, is how to explain it to somebody who doesn't have the perspective to grasp what you are feeling and what you've been experiencing.
Right.
Okay. Is this somebody you feel you like an employer, like a supervisor or somebody that you feel you must explain it to, or is it just something you wanted to explain?
It was just something I wanted to explain. Somebody just asking me about, oh, what are you doing with your job situation? Just
Okay. Yeah. And you wanted to explain it without having anger, is of handling that is, uh, and feel your way into what's right for you. But I would suggest it fits somewhere in this range of frequency and thought and behavior. So start with the energy. So when somebody asks a question, align your energy first before you answer. And it can be that fast, right?
mhm.
It's not like you have to say, you can say, I'll get back to you in an hour, or I'll get back to you tomorrow. I mean, you can, there's nothing wrong with that. But if you need to do that, but it can become something where you just take a breath and align, boom, align your energy. And then it's kind of like you open and let your divine self speak, right?
Right.
And you could just say because if I'm understanding, and I know you, so that's part of why, you're wanting to answer, you're wanting to connect and share and have authentic communication with this person, whoever this person was, and other people in your life, without bringing in drama of anger, because it's
Right.
like nothing wrong if you feel you need, like, 'cause sometimes you do need to share to get to untangle something. You have to get the emotion out, right? And so that's like with the three of us, I'll say to you, I'll kind of know something's going on, and I'll offer, do you want to get on the phone or get on a Zoom and kind of work through something, right?
Mhm.
So so first of all, you start with energy, align your energy with what you choose. It's like, what do I choose? I choose calm, clear connection. And you might choose something else, but something along that line, right? And then, so now that you feel that, and like, choose it right now. I choose calm, clear connection. Now, tell me the answer to that question. However you choose to answer it, to what degree you choose to answer it.
Right.
How would you say it now? Calm, clear connection.
Like I say, the question of my job being,
Why did you sour on it? Or
yeah, I'd say, well, I feel like it's been a few weeks of demanding too much and not enough understanding for my life, and I need to, um while I'm making this transition, I need to ask more of the company since it asked so much of me in the past few weeks.
good. Now, I didn't sense any anger in there. Was
Right.
there?
No,
Was it just matter of fact?
it's just matter of fact to me.
There you go. That's a great example of conscious conversation. You, if you needed to express the anger, you can do that with somebody asking up front, can I have a space to, to sort something out with you, right?
Right.
Or if you want to just not, you don't want to express the anger because you want to shift out of it, then you say, okay, a line before I answer, what energy I'm feeling anger. I don't want to feel that. What I want to feel is just calm, clear connection as I communicate. So just a line, shift into that, and then either speak or act.
Okay.
How does that feel?
That's helpful. I think the hardest part is not getting caught up into the question, and then just immediately wanting, retraining that habit of instantly reacting to the question. That's the hardest part.
It is. And so let's take a look at why that's hard for people. You're not the only one. It's very common. There's a lot of ways you could say it. One way to say it is you're wanting to connect at a lower frequency when you're reacting, which is a frequency of drama. There's a lot of words you could use for it, but it's a frequency of you want them to feel your feeling. It's like instead of you feeling it and expressing it, you're kind of wanting them to feel it, validate it. It could be some validation. It could be some like sympathy or caring. It could be some wisdom, but you haven't gotten clear and asked for it in a clear, calm way. Nothing wrong with wanting to connect authentically, doing so without needing that person to come down into the frequency of the drama.
Sure.
Which doesn't help you or them.
Right.
Does that help with that?
It does. Yep.
Okay. And again, no criticism.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yep.
Okay.
No criticism.
Good. Okay, cool. Do we have, before we shift over to Lori, do we have any comments or anything we want to address with any viewers?
I see Lucy says hello, and she also says she would like to learn more about evolving your consciousness requiring mastery of your energy.
Wonderful. Okay, so let me address that. Lori, do you want to hold for just a minute with your question?
That's actually where I was going with it.
Thank
You
you.
know, the other 3 points today.
Perfect.
Thanks for being on the same page, Luce.
Thank you.
You know,
Thank you for
it's
the question, both of you, and all
yeah.
the answer too. Okay, so let me state it, and then we're going to go back to Lori. Evolving your consciousness requires mastery of your energy. All right, Lori, what is your question in that area?
Well, my question is, in the moment, similar to when Spence said, there are times where, I feel like I've come in and my energy is high. I've listened to some, energy music that is on the vibe of love and high and peak. And then in a call or in an interaction with someone, all of a sudden it's almost like I was this top that they went like this and just sent me spinning into the corner. So mastery of okay, let's be able to maintain
Holding
that
the sovereignty. So
Yes.
That's great. And so Luce, this is for you too, and anybody else who has a similar question. So mastery of your energy is something you learn by doing, and you practice it first alone to cultivate the sovereignty, because it's easiest, as Lori was saying, it's easiest to cultivate sovereignty. And sovereignty, what I mean is you have an energy field. So let's say your energy field is 3 feet around you. It might be 9 feet around you. It might be much, for some people, much more. But let's just use something simple to make it easy. So let's say it's 3 feet around you. So it's within whatever room you're in. If you're in a room alone, then that space is your energy, right? And no one else's energy is in there, stronger than yours, unless you're just not creating your own energy field consciously. See, that's when other people are always bleeding into your energy field. It's because you're not holding a sacred space of your energy by conscious choice. I choose to feel the energy frequency of pure divine love, or joy, or peace, or abundance, or ease, or clarity. Ooh, that's a good one. I love that. That's one of my favorites, clarity and ease. Yeah. So I choose to feel the energy of clarity. I choose to be the energy of clarity or ease, whatever it is. So, Luce, you choose yours to go through this example. Lori, choose yours right now. Do you choose clarity? Do you choose ease? What do you choose, Lori?
Ease.
Ease. And Luce, if you
Mhm.
want to put it in the comments, you can. You don't have to. But do get it clear in your mind as we go through this, okay? So, similar to what I went through with Spencer. So you're alone and you're doing the spiritual practice. And we're going to expand on this, let's see, next week, actually. Not next week, but next time we're alive, which is 2 weeks. So we're going to expand on, oh, it is next week. I'm mistaken. It is next week. So we are going to expand on it, but this is, you still want to start practicing it right now. So alone in your spiritual practice, your private time, where it's easiest because there's nobody else's energy that you get confused about. Is it their energy, my energy? You can really learn to feel your energy. And then you can choose a different energy and feel the shift, right? So maybe you're feeling overwhelmed, or maybe you're feeling some frenzy or chaos, and you say, okay, stop, peace, be still, take a breath. I now choose the energy of, I think you said ease, right, Lori?
Mhm.
And if whatever you're saying, Luce, is there, I don't know if you answered, Spencer can tell us if you do, but you don't have to if you don't want to.
She
But say
said clarity.
I was just going to say clarity. Good. Okay, so clarity. I choose. So we just like, okay, whatever the frenzy or overwhelm, we're like, breath, peace, be still. I now choose the energy of ease. I now choose the energy of clarity. And then let yourself, just let it be. You don't get there. You let yourself, it's like you let the energy sort of bubble up and bring you to that frequency. Let it. It's not an effort. It's a releasing of what is not that. It's a releasing, like letting yourself float to the top like a cork. You float to the top. I picture it like champagne bubbles in a pretty glass. Just let it bubble up. Now, here's the trick. Question that you brought up, Lori. Great question. Really good question. Now you're in that space. So here's where you develop mastery. Now you pick up the phone for a business call, or maybe it's a friend call, like, Luce, what are you doing? Something, one of the projects you work on that I know are very important and they help people. And maybe it's a loved one, both of you, I know neither of you live alone, I live alone, so it's a little different for me. So you just walk out the bedroom door or whatever, and now you have another energy, another person's energy, right? So this is where you develop the mastery. You won't be able to have mastery of your energy field until you learn to hold it around others, right? Now, when there are others in your life who are extremely chaotic and extremely dramatic, that creates a toxic environment. So you have to be honest with yourself and say, am I trying to swim upstream here, right? Am I just immersing myself in a nearly impossible situation and then thinking I'm just not good enough in my spiritual work, which is, you're just making life too, I would use a really strong word that starts with letter F, hard, too hard. Don't make it so damn hard. So then, in an instant, you're not changing that situation, but you need to be aware if you need to change the situation, whomever. And I don't mean just Lori and Lucy, I'm talking about anybody listening now or later. So assuming that that's not the case, now what do? Assuming you're with people who truly do try, it is their sincere intention to be, a positive influence in your life as well as others that they care about. So when that's the case, and that the other person is, perhaps they don't mean to be, but they're processing, they're angry, they're frustrated, they're tired, they're sad, And it might not be somebody, it isn't necessarily somebody in your household either. I'm just using that as an example. It could be, a group you work with, a group of people, some friends, if it's constantly pulling at you, you need to take a look at why are you choosing toxic dynamics to constantly withstand, I mean, why are you making it so hard, right? If it's constant. Now, if it's occasional, then because you could be walking out to go to the grocery store and be hit with it at the grocery store, right? So somebody angry in the parking lot, somebody grumpy when you walk in the door, right? So you have the choice then. When the other person's energy is lower, not that it's not a qualifier as in the worthiness of the person. We're just set like on a scale, let's say. It's a more dense negative energy. They're sad, they're angry, they're grumpy. You may not know them, so you may not know why. Maybe, we don't know. It doesn't really matter why, not that we don't care. It's just that it's still going to feel how it feels. So you're interacting with somebody whose energy is not anywhere close to this beautiful space you just put yourself in. This is your choice. Now, do you choose to hold your energy, or do you choose to join them in the lower frequency? There is a tendency, and this is what is called codependency, enmeshment. There's a lot of other terms for it, but it's a real common human dynamic. Sadly, our culture kind of teaches it as that's what love is, but it's not. And so we have to teach ourselves drowning with the person drowning doesn't help them. So if you keep lowering your frequency in order to get along with somebody else, ask yourself, why am I doing that? Do I need them? Do I feel that we have to be on the same vibe for me to be close to them, or for me to have love for them, or for them to have love for me? Because that's where that old song, I love it, looking for love in all the wrong places. And this is something they teach from the Abraham teachings. You're looking for, quit looking for divine love in humans. Get your divine love filled up with source, whatever name you give the divine, God, spirit, with that personal relationship, and then let it overflow to others instead of needing it from others to validate your worthiness. And give yourself permission to feel better than anybody you see all day long, and hold it. And don't do it as resistance. Don't do it as a fight. That's another thing to ask yourself. Have I taught myself this very destructive pattern of overcoming challenges shows what a really strong, wonderful person I am? I'm so spiritually good because I just deal with crap all day and I stay high. Ask yourself that, because that's another thing that's common in human culture. That makes you the hero. Well, it also makes you not live very long because you have so much stress in your body, and the life you do have is painful. You have high joy and then a lot of drops into stress and, cortisol, adrenaline flowing in ways that are really toxic for your body, right? So ask yourself truthfully, am I hooked on needing to match other people's frequency to feel connected? That's number one. The more powerful choice is you hold the energy which will support others rising up if they choose to. Are you willing to make peace with the fact that they may not choose to, and just be okay with it? That don't get mad, don't try to make them, because you don't have that authority. What their consciousness is. So if they want to learn, that's great. You don't feel, you can share what you know. If they want to hear from you, you can point them to something like this to learn, right? This course will be coming out. You can get this course for them, but only if they want it, right? We can't be trying to we don't want to make other people be who it's easy for us to be around. See, that's a control. That's part of the codependent. It's actually a control dynamic that we have to untangle and choose a higher frequency. So first question was, why am I needing to match my energy to them? So I feel it's a false premise of that's connection, that's love. It's not. Okay. Second thing is, have you set yourself up as proving your worthiness and your value as a spiritual being or a human being by mastering challenges all the time? Please stop mastering challenges and instead master your energy, and you'll have a lot less challenges to have to master.
Yeah.
And even the mastery of them will be a lot more fun. Like what we just did with Spencer. You saw the shift from trying to manage something without a high energy, with a sense of anger and hurt and confusion and overwhelm, versus align my energy, and then it's easy to not have the anger because I aligned my energy first. So energy first. Now you're going to have to practice it. Okay. I don't want to make it sound hard. I don't think it's hard. I think it's new. I think it's unfamiliar. It's not hard as much as it's unfamiliar. But every time you do it, you've created a new neural pathway in your beautiful human brain. And that becomes your new go-to. It becomes natural. Yeah. So Luce, if you have anything else you want to ask or add to that, please do that and we'll address it. How about you, Lori? How does that feel to you?
That feels really good. Yeah.
So it really
well.
is, it's a mastery by practice,
Mhm.
starting with your private spiritual practice, which you, as you described that you're doing, and then get so honest with yourself. I mean, like just bare bones honest.
Mhm.
Do I have an addictive pattern I don't recognize? It feels somehow I'm validating myself by lowering my energy to get along, quote, or creating challenges and overcoming it as a way of feeling good about myself. I mean, you're the only one who can really know that. And please,
Yep.
and then, both of you reach out to me if I can be of help. I'll be glad to do that.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Did Luce have anything else?
She also said thank you.
You're most welcome. And I'm sending you love and all your family. Lots of love. Okay. I think it feels like we're complete. Are
I
we?
think so.
Okay, cool.
I think so.
Okay, good. Thank you. So I want to thank everyone for participating. I value the energy. I'm going to shift my view real quick here. Actually, I'm not. I'm going to leave it the way it is. I really value the energy exchange. It is good for our center and me. It's enjoyable, it's satisfying. It's also good for you. This energy exchange is so important. And so thank you, because see, that's an energy presence that supports our center. And for those of you who from time to time, whether it's now or other times, contribute financially, that's a valuable energy exchange. And we love that for two reasons. One, as Spencer pointed out, it helps us do what we do here, but it also is part of our expansion, because we have some cool things like creating these courses, and it takes a little money to get things up and going in marketing and that sort of thing. We want to bring this to anyone on planet Earth who wants to learn it. We want to make it available in as affordable as possible, and that means we have to have money coming in. And Luce is on the grant posse helping us with some grants. We got some cool things I'm going to share with our exquisite exec team here in just a little bit when we have our business meeting. So thank you for that. Anyone who does donate or wants to donate, thank you. Also, comments like you've done, like, love, care button, sharing. I know some of you share. We have regulars who share. Thank you for that, because it helps us get the message out. And if you think of something later, even if you're live and you think of something later, you can add another comment or send me a private message or an email. And if you're watching the replay, please, participate. Learn this along with us. I promise you, being part of a community where you are held with honor as you ask questions with a clear intention of growing, exploring, and becoming more and more your true divine self, it is such a rewarding experience. So I invite you to really participate with us that way. Okay? And as time goes on, we will begin to have some live events where people can, when I say live, in-person events, where we can have, like, we're working on a retreat center where we can have something at least once a year, perhaps more often. So that's one of the things we're getting some cool grant possibilities for. So any ideas you want to share, just please share. We're here. We're here to be part of your life and help you live this beautiful lifestyle of being conscious. And it is what Jesus meant when he said, this is how to be in the world without without succumbing to the chaos of the world and the human suffering that is sometimes overwhelming. And it's not that you don't care about it, it's you don't succumb to it, so that you can be the beacon of light in the storm for your loved ones and also for yourself. First of all, always for yourself, because if you're drowning, you can't save somebody else, right? So we get ourselves in good condition, good energetic, vibrational, high vibe consciousness, and then we are a powerful source of love and joy and peace and prosperity and the teaching of divine presence and power and how to align with that. So, okay, so next week will be the second principle that we want to teach about conscious living, emotional awareness and energy self-mastery. So we're going to expand on what we talked about today, and it's going to, I know you're going to really like it. Again, the program for the whole month will be up each week. So if you want to go to the PDF icon on our homepage, it's one of the slides that rolls through, you can see the whole month what each one will be, and then we'll highlight them a little differently in our post Facebook and things. So we'll see you again next week. In the meantime, practice being aware of your consciousness and then shifting into a higher energy by choice. Okay, you are that loved that you have that power and presence with you from the divine. You are that loved. You're a beautiful being of light. Thank you for being with us now or later, whenever it is. Okay, much love.